Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dreary Middle podcast. And we got a special episode today. Little do all of you out there know, this episode has been in the works for a long time. We've got our special guest here, Trakky, our friend, big fan of the hit show Hunter x Hunter, or apparently it's pronounced Hunter Hunter.
Yep, big fan.
And the backstory here is that our good friend just is not a fan. They dropped it.
It's true. It's true.
And we're going to talk today about why they dropped it. And our good friend Trakky is going to talk about why Hunter x Hunter is a modern classic.
Okay.
So, let's give it a little introduction about what Hunter x Hunter even is. So, Hunter x Hunter is the hit manga from 1998, adapted twice into a 1999 adaptation and a 2011 adaptation. Both very high quality stuff. So the story is, it's about a boy called Gon, and he wants to become a hunter, which is... Trakky, what would you say hunters are in this universe? Like, if you could, sum up what a hunter is.
I think summing up what a hunter is kind of like because a hunter could be a lot of things. Okay, a hunter is basically someone that does a task for somebody at a high cost and obviously qualifies for it. So there's many types of hunters. So you could be a hunter for rare animals. You go out and find rare animals. You could be a hunter for a bounty hunter. That's one thing. You can also be a hunter to find new lands and new architecture. It's just hunter is finding things basically.
Yeah, and some people will get the license just to sell it.
Yeah, basically, some people will get the license to sell it, but at the same time, some people will obviously keep the license because they want to hunt. They have a huge interest in it. Maybe you want like rare food, stuff like that. Because Hunter is always it's not based on the real world. It's based on a fantasy world where there's it's bigger than the world that we live in right now. But at the same time, the technology is not advanced enough where they've not searched for everything in the world. So there's still lots of things to be found.
So it's basically like it sounds like it's more like a qualification than a job title. Then really, it's just like here is a permit to just go and do whatever you want, basically. But you're good at doing that thing.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because there's an association, right?
No, so what the license lets you do? It lets you so that you're a bounty hunter. Well, with the license, you're not allowed to kill people, kill people on the bounty with the license. With the license, you're allowed to go. You're allowed access into different areas and different lands with the license. Because the places you can't actually go without hunter license. You're allowed access to different information. There's a whole hidden information in the world that you can't access if you don't have hunter license. So there's loads of things that the hunter license just lets you do just by having it on its own. And if you sell it, you can't. The world says that you can sell it. You're allowed to sell it, but you can't do the exam again. So you can't keep going and doing the exam. If you sell it, that's it.
I'm going to jump ahead in the story just for a bit to talk about the Chimera Ant arc, because I remember there's a part, and I know you're not that far, James, but there's a part where they call on hunters to, explore that area. So does that mean that some hunters work for this association, or is it voluntary?
I think it's voluntary. So there are many associations that will work for the hunter. This was one association that wanted to explore that place, but there's different associations, so they will look for hunters, but okay, I'll pay you millions to go find whatever, and sure.
Well, I mean, I personally, it's very interesting that the main character Gon wants that, and what are they going to do with the hunter license? That's the intrigue of the first arc, and
I think I will say this though before you continue, is that it wasn't that Gon wanted to be a hunter. It's more that Gon just wanted to figure out why his dad left him for for this weird world. So it's more that hunter. I think the hunter license is more of an excuse to create an adventure. But it's a good excuse.
Yeah, and he did he think that the hunter license would get him closer to his dad?
Yeah, basically, that's pretty much.
So I guess we get the good out of the way. What were your first impressions of Hunter x Hunter? Because from what I heard, they were quite positive.
Yeah, no, I quite liked it started off strong. You know, I like shows that have a lot of like a sense of adventure right from the very beginning. You know, just like here's a character, here's a world, just go and explore it. You're seeing that world for the first time alongside the character. I don't know, there's a sense of wonder about that. And you know, it kind of, I guess you could draw comparisons to like how I felt with the first few episodes of Dragon Ball, where it's kind of like, you know, just like someone goes off into the world, has an adventure, and there's like no real like, I guess you don't really know the stakes until you're there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of let's just see what's out there.
Yeah.
I think what makes Hunter x Hunter good at the beginning is that it does a lot to build the world. So when you're in a Hunter exam, you see all these kind of different people, and from the different people in the exam, they kind of explain their backstories and how the world is different from obviously the world we live in right now, which makes it Hunter x Hunter even better.
And it makes sense also why this license would grant you the opportunity to kill, because after you see how this exam works, it's like your chance of dying yourself is extremely high.
Yeah, because it's basically like a super hard exam. Like, you know, the first task, which is the easiest task by the way, is like a 24-hour run. You know, obviously that's like impossible for most people. So yeah, it's basically like you're basically superhuman. You know, like imagine being an athlete. It's like that.
But I would say though, if you, like you said, you know, there are people who do it just to become like, you know, go off and find rare foods and stuff. Like, why does a chef need a license to kill?
It's a license that gives you. It's an all-encompassing license. It can allow you to kill. That
seems very dangerous. Like I feel like there should be some levels where, like, I only want to do the food thing. Okay, well we'll have a separate hunter license just for you.
No, but it's more. It's more that the license is used. It's more that the license is used to find different foods. So it more allows you to get into different like forests, you know, different places that you can't get without the license. So you can get those foods and
think about it. You could get rare foods before anyone else in the world because you have that license.
Yeah, and you can cook them.
You could kill for them too.
You could cook them as well.
And that's why, you know, the exam the exam was different every year, innit? The one that we see in the show included the chef hunters or whatever they were called.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, you did.
Yeah,
yes,
and you know, obviously Gon didn't. He wasn't going to become a chef.
But
you know, it's all encompassing, I guess.
Jernswell, don't you remember the start of the exam where like they have to get the special spider egg from the bottom of like the cabin, and like if you don't jump at the right time, they get killed. You know, that's the kind of stuff that the gourmet hunters would be doing. You know, getting food and dangerous places.
You have to do a little bit of everything. It's like, you know, when you go to study university, your course won't always have stuff you want to do in it, but you know, it gives you a little bit of everything, like that, or like
FPGAs.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like that, and the death rate is super high. That's why, like, the chance of you even getting a license is so low.
Oh.
No, I mean, I don't want to do some like commentary on university, but yeah, sure, they're very similar. But the thing is, with these hunter exams, they're tough. They ain't easy, and that's why getting the right to kill is like super hard, because like you have to go. You're going into like a suicidal thing to begin with.
Okay, guys, people. Before you say it's right to kill, it's right to kill criminals, not to kill anybody. You can't just kill people. You can kill criminals, not anyone.
But who's to judge who's a criminal or not?
A bounty. They have a bounty, like, you know, this person is worth 300, I don't know, berries because he robbed the bank or something.
Wait a minute. So hold on. What about characters like? Oh, I guess does like Hisoka go around? He doesn't go around killing anyone, does he?
But he technically is a criminal as well, isn't he?
Hisoka's Hisoka's a complex case. Let's just say that.
But the thing is,
got that right.
The thing is, as we'll see in the manga later on, he only. I don't know if he does go around just killing anyone after the exams, but I know he kills members of the Phantom Troop, but they're considered criminals, so it's okay.
Yeah. Too much.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, you get the license, it's all interesting. So that's when we met, in the very first episode, we met two of our support characters, Liario and Kurapika. So why don't you tell us your opinions on the main three characters at the moment before we introduce Killua a little later on?
Yeah, Jones, you can go first.
Yeah. So I like Gon. Gon's is innocent. Kind of, I guess you could say, represents the audience since they're a little slow. Then you've got I no, actually there's a little, I know we joke about it a little bit, but I do quite like all of the supporting cast. I like them all. I like Karapika a lot. A very deep character. Has a lot interesting, so their was it the backstory is their entire clan got killed by this
evil people, bad people.
Evil people.
Yeah.
So he's out for revenge. It's not a very complex story, but the character more than makes up for it because their motivations are a bit clouded. They're kind of, I guess, what they want isn't very straightforward. So I guess it is quite an interesting, like, oh, okay, they're not really with the main character. They're not really against it. They're kind of playing on their own team.
And I'd also say the resolution he comes to at the end was quite mature. Like, he didn't just go, oh, revenge. Like, maybe I'm jumping ahead of it a bit, but like, I like the resolution his arc comes to with the whole revenge storyline.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it is one of the, I guess, probably one of the more complex characters in a show like this I've ever seen. Where he by all accounts should be a murder happy, like everyone must die because I've suffered.
Yeah.
But he's not. So it's, I guess, on that account, he's quite interesting. And then there's also like Leorio, which is I'm not. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't actually know much about him or his like.
He wants to be a doctor.
That's pretty much all you get, which I guess that's quite a noble cause. But I like him. He's grounded. He's
a down to earth.
Yeah,
like, everyone.
I guess he is the most grounded character of them all.
Yeah, I like him. I like him all. I like all the characters. They're all good.
His outlook on life is just pretty much, I want to be a doctor. Thumbs up.
Yeah. It's one of the better main casts of Battle Shonen I've seen.
Definitely.
But the thing I want to ask her, what does Gon do for you that a character like Kid Goku doesn't?
I think it's because Gon, although he's a little stupid, he at least is can function in society.
Yeah.
Like Kid Goku is just literally like, I will poo on the ground right here and laugh, and it's like, yeah.
That gets to you, does it?
Yeah,
I think it just provides that, it's just he seems like a more realistic portrayal of what a child of that age would be. I know Goku was isolated in the mountains.
He was 10 years old.
God was 12. Are you telling me in 2 years there's that huge gap? Were you walking into secondary school shitting yourself?
What? It doesn't happen in the manga.
But I mean, we are keeping in mind that, as you said, Goku was self-isolated and wasn't taught.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But even just like from a character perspective, I believe Gon as a person, but I think Kid Goku's it's too stupid for it's too off the deep end for my liking.
Yeah, I mean, as a character, I would say Gon is probably better in. Yeah, definitely. But there's more to Gon as a character as well.
Oh yes, and it's not that I don't like Kid Goku. It's just I think Gon's a better 12-year-old.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I like both, but I would say Gon is better in. But I mean, comparing, I love both Dragon Ball and Hunter x Hunter, but in terms of writing, Hunter x Hunter's got it beat in terms of just that it's more. It's got more going for it. Dragon Ball executes the simplicity extremely well, and you can't fault them. There's nothing wrong with simple stories. We all love simple stories.
Yeah, I think
we've all got one in our top 10. So
yeah, I think I'll say in terms of the criticism of Gon and Goku, I don't care too much because in my eyes, from a book perspective, they're kind of the same character. I will say though, personally, I like Goku more, only because I find him a lot more funnier. I don't find Gon cracking making me laugh as much as Goku doing stupid things make me laugh. So apart from that, that's fine.
I will say Gon's probably better in, but I'd probably agree. I think Kid Goku's more fun to watch. So I'd probably say the same, maybe. I like them both, though. But it's obvious that Gon is definitely 100% inspired off Goku as a character. Like, they're way too similar.
They look the same.
They look the same, too, yeah. It was, Gon is inspired off... Yeah, okay, so Gon's inspired off Goku, and believe it or not, Hisoka's inspired off Dio from JoJo.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
of course. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that include the paedophilia or not?
Oh, we'll get into that.
Oops, spoilers.
Anyway, let's move forward. So overall, you like all the characters?
Yeah, I like all of them.
I
yeah.
assume I know I like all of them, and Trakky, we know this is one of your favorite shows. You like all the characters too?
I like all the characters, like them for different reasons. You know, Gon. We just explained Gon's kind of a simple character who progresses the story. Kurapika, you know, troubled character. L'Oreal's, you know, he's comic relief. We laugh at him because he does dumb things. And Kalua's cool character too. So yeah.
I think that's quite an interesting dynamic as well. Because I think technically speaking, of the four, Leorio would be the smartest in terms of just raw intelligence, but he does also do the dumbest things.
Academic wise, he's smart, but he's not common sense wise.
Not street smart.
No, he's not. He's not street smart at all.
Yeah, I always thought. I've actually always thought Killua was the most complex character. Not that he's my favourite, but I would say he's probably the most complex.
Yeah, he has his own arc, so yeah, I'd say that he's the most complex. I'd say Kurapika is probably the most has the highest common sense out of all three of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. And as Jermswell said, for somebody with a backstory like that, they really shouldn't be as calm and collected as they are, but they are, and that's refreshing. If you want a good comparison of that exact same story, Sasuke from Naruto is exactly.
Oh god.
Before they
my clan is all gone.
Yeah.
In my head, I had Shadow the Hedgehog. But...
Yeah, but another one is Killua. But another one is that Killua should be way worse than he is because he's been, tortured all his life and stuff like that. But he actually learns to grow and stuff like that.
No, I think the point of his character though is more to say that he kind of represses all his emotions. That's why he takes it like a joke because he hates his life and stuff. But obviously you figured it out later on.
Here's the thing. I'll give Hunter x Hunter all the credit in the world. It was written in the late 90s, and it doesn't have any of that late 90s edge to it, at all.
Yeah,
its characters should be way more angsty than they are. But Hunter x Hunter's got a very joyful tone at the beginning, which I really like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the characters. We all like them, and so. What else? Is there anything else about this first arc you want to talk about? How it progressed? Anything you liked from it?
I guess it's quite. So it's how long is it? 21 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's nice, well paced. Maybe 2 episodes per trial or whatever. A couple of episodes to introduce characters and all that. Yeah, it's what can I say? It's nice.
Yeah, it's a fun, simple story, but it doesn't seem like it's one of the arcs in Hunter x Hunter that's remembered a lot or stands out most with the fandom because
here's what I'll say though because it's different experience. So for example, me and Sarah watch anime a lot, so we've seen a lot of the tropes in Hunter. The first exam is very simple, but someone who's not seen Hunter exam, I can understand. Someone who's not seen other anime a lot. I can understand why they like the exam a lot to what Jones World likes it. That's what I'd like to say.
Yeah. I guess that is a good point to make. Without going too much into it, 'cause it's not an interesting story at all. It stayed away from anime for a long time, and I've only just really started to get into it now. So I'm fresh this whole thing. Maybe this has been done 100 times before, but I like this. So
yeah, that's good.
I mean, as somebody who has seen a lot of stuff like this, when I first watched Hunter x Hunter, I was still really intrigued.
Mm-hmm. But I just hear a lot from the fan base that they don't like it too much because they've seen a lot. But that's just a common expense. So it's not for us.
Also, we'll say that the world of Hunter x Hunter is not too like Dragon Ball, there's dinosaurs and animal people walking around. Like Hunter x Hunter feels like Earth, but just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's interesting to me.
Yeah. Same. I like both the worlds of Hunter x Hunter and Dragon Ball.
Same. Definitely.
Before Dragon Ball decided to restrict how the Earth was and made it really normal later on in the series.
You still had the Dog King though.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, overall, the Hunter exam, we all love it. So then, as the story progressed, let's give it a little refresh. We got our boy Killua. He goes a little bit crazy near the end because he finds out his brother is also in the exam, and his brother basically gives him a little talking to and says, "Go home, fucker." So he does, and that leads into our next arc, the Killua home arc. It's very short. It's only about 5 episodes.
Yes.
Yes.
But
yes.
But this is where the cracks start to show. So
yeah, it's true. I took my glasses off and I pressed my face firmly to the screen and I said, "Is that a crack? A crack I see?"
But it wasn't full there. You weren't fully out of it yet.
No, it's like, when you look at a wall and you see a little grey mark in the top corner and you think, "I'll get that later."
So Gemsol, what cracks are you referring to? I'd like to know.
The family.
Well, what about them?
Yeah, you don't like Killua's family?
No, I mean, I guess I guess my problem with the family has potential to be interesting in terms of like, whoa, it's a family of killers and they're all killers, even the youngest one. You could do something interesting with that. They don't. It's just kind of like, we're torturing our child, but they can leave at any time, and that kind of just annoyed me a bit. Honestly, like, oh, we're gonna save our friend. Oh, they're doing it voluntarily. Oh, thanks for torturing me, Dad. Put shirt back on. Bye.
Okay, all right then. So I'll explain some of the things I have. I mean, I understand that's a different way to view the family, but I feel like the point of them not taking like violence and obviously Killua would be tortured in the chambers in the Zoldyck family. But I think the point is that the family is so used to violence, so used to like killing and stuff, that it's not like it doesn't register with them. So the whole thing of Killua just going, "I'm leaving now," after I almost killed my mum. And the mum was like really proud of Killua because it's the whole fact that this family is kind of different from all the other families in the way that like they glorify assassination and killing. So I kind of like the comedic aspect of the arc. I will say though it is one of the weaker arcs, but I don't think it's like bad per se. I mean, weaker than Hunter exam, but not like I don't like it. But yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, but I think it's very short too.
Yeah,
and
it's quite
it kind of feels like an epilogue.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like an epilogue to the Hunter exam, but I don't know. I think it felt weird to have all that build up for the family and like you only see you just like it just kind of ends.
I don't know. I wouldn't want it to be long. Okay, I wouldn't want it to be long though. Like, what would you like it to be longer? Or what are you saying?
No, what I'm saying is I wish it was more just like it seemed like the characters went through a lot for no payoff. I guess I'm just annoyed on their behalf.
Oh, so you want to see more of them, basically?
Like, what do you want for a payoff? Well, like, in terms of what do you mean?
I don't know if I necessarily would have done that at all, even.
Killua's arc got a payoff, right?
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. It just felt like you just nothing really happened. Honestly,
I feel like it was more of an introduction to Killua's family, so I don't think a lot was meant to happen. I think at the end of the arc, Killua went to his dad and basically was like, "No, I'm leaving. I fuck this family. I hate it." And Dad was like, "Yeah, sure, man, leave." And then Killua was kind of like, "What? You let me leave?" And then Dad, and as Killua left, the Dad did a kind of smile like, "You will return sooner or later." So I think it was more like an introduction to the characters. It wasn't meant to be a lot for the characters. It was more introduce Killua's family and show his backstory a bit.
And to be fair, you have to admit their family did come back again. So you got introduced. But if it means anything, the story in the manga is even shorter for this arc. It's 5 chapters, not 5 episodes, and usually an episode covers about 2 to 3 chapters. So the anime actually kind of made it longer.
But do you know what? I'm gonna go back to something though. I feel like my argument here for this podcast, I will say, is why JoJo should continue, and that's one reason why it should continue. Because you see more of the characters. So wait, what? You want to see more of the characters? Well, don't worry. In Chimera Anarch, you see a lot of them. So maybe it should continue, JoJo.
Can I see the characters in a setting I like instead?
You haven't. Why? The Chimera Anarch is a setting you like.
What? Is Nen there?
Not
jumping the gun.
Whoa! We're not to that part yet. That's the next topic. That's the next topic.
Okay.
Let's not
end the topic.
Spill the beans.
So, I'd say my thoughts. It's to me, it's so short, it's inoffensive kind of thing. Like I agree, it's an epilogue to the Hunter exams. I wouldn't have actually minded. I guess maybe I'm the only person. I actually wouldn't have minded to this story.
Actually,
I don't mind.
Actually, I have a criticism, but it's not a criticism of the manga itself. A criticism of the 2011 version. So basically, there's a little black girl who beats up Gon, and in the 99 version, it's really long. It's actually really emotional. But in the 2011 version, they're showing it to make it really. Not make it much of a story point. I feel like they should have made it longer, but that's my only critique.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next we're at Psy Heaven's Arena. So we know this is where the problems begin. No.
All right. So.
Okay, I just want to say, us 3 went to university together. One of the first reactions to what was introduced, we get introduced to a new power called Nen, and they said, what I don't want to happen is 2 people standing opposite sides of the room while their, magic starts fighting each other, with crossed arms. Would you say that happened?
Not exactly, but it wasn't any better.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. So I'm, I guess, a really picky person in terms
you got
of
that right.
Shut up. No, but in terms of okay, I guess. If we were to compare it to something else, one that you brought up before, Trakky, is the stands from JoJo.
Yes.
I have no problem with them, but I have a problem with Nen. Now, both are power systems that were introduced well after the start of each their respective franchises, and I have said before that I don't really like the shoehorning in of powers for the sake of having powers. If you're gonna do it from the beginning, or don't do it at all. Don't try and they were there all along, you just didn't notice them. I guess my defense for stands has always been the characters themselves don't pretend to know how they work. It's just we have powers now anyway, whereas with Nen, they dedicate a lot of time into trying to develop it, instead of using those 26 episodes that came before it to kind of develop Nen as this, even if you saw it in the background a lot, it's just pretty much do you remember that one time when the cards were hard? Yeah, that was the power. It's okay. Do you remember when Gon's eyes turned black for a second? That wasn't an animation error, we swear.
Alright, here's my contention to all of that. So first of all, I think I don't like the argument to say that the card not being hard was the power, because that was the power. But at that point in the story, we didn't know.
But you could argue that was just like a knife or something. It's a card that's a knife.
But we saw Hisoka bending the cards, and then he throws them at Loyola and he gets stabbed. So we know that's what's wrong with the card. Also, at the start, there's also another part as well where Hisoka chops someone's hands off and the hands start turning into flowers. That was then as well. Remember that part? I don't know if you guys remember that.
No, I completely forgot.
Yeah, that was funny, that part. Yeah. But anyway, my more defense of Nen is the fact that I feel like So I feel like if I had to pick between Nen and Stans, I feel like both of them have their advantages. So for example, Stans, they're really simple to understand and they kind of do their job. They're not power based as well, because one thing I hate is power based abilities. So say for example in Seven Deadly Sins and Dragon Ball Z, at one point it was about power level. So it was like, okay, I'm 9,000, you're 5,000, I win,
yeah.
and that's really stupid in my opinion. I kind of like Nen in the sense that it's not about how strong your Nen is, because that never happened, by the way, once. It's about how you use your ability. So the basically different abilities, and that's what I kind of like in that sense. I feel like maybe another critique you could say as well is that they should have spent longer explaining Nen, because what they do basically in Heaven's Arena, they just explain Nen in one episode, and I feel that's a bit stupid. I didn't even understand Nen in that episode as well. I was like, why are you explaining one episode? I don't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't fully get Nen to the end of Yorknew. So what I'd say,
the thing, yeah, it's like I never really liked how it was introduced. I'd agree with that. I think doing it purely through exposition was a bit,
yeah. This is
here's this university lecture.
Yeah, what I think is I think Heaven's Arena is actually the weakest arc of all the arcs, because it's more just a. It's also, when you talked about it's also a tournament arc as well. So it's basically just fighting. Like there's no story really. It's just like fighting. I think the best part of the arc though is the part where Hisoka and Gon battle. Like everyone loves that part. I think.
No, I agree.
But apart from that, I feel like the I feel like it enriches the world. I don't think Hunter, from what I know it to be would be the same without Nen. Because I know James Wells would still say like Hunter x Hunter but without the Nen. But I feel like the anime wouldn't be the same. I feel like it wouldn't have gone as far and been as good without Nen.
But like, if I may interject for a second, I have gone back and I've watched the episode where they've reintroduced Nen. I haven't gone back and watched every Hunter x Hunter episode just because I'm a busy person. Yeah. But I went back and rewatched the Nen episode. And there's a lot of like stuff in there which is just pretty much like, oh, it's an extension of your strength. Okay, that makes sense. How do we get from that to Hoover? How do we... Literally, one of the first uses we see of Nen is someone ripping their own skin off. Like, how do we get from, it's an extension of your strength and your aura, to watch me rip my skin off, guys? It's
okay, so hang on a second. It's not real science. It's fucking anime magic. So to say that's not a criticism at all.
Then why you spend the whole episode explaining it?
I want theories. I want actual theories to understand how Nen works. I want actual space-time theories, and how do atoms.
The second that whiteboard comes out, that's it. We're learning. If you're going to sit there and teach us the ins and outs of Nen and then immediately none of it's relevant, then you've wasted my time.
All right then. Okay then. If you're going to say that, then how come they don't explain something in Star Trek? Okay, I want to know exactly how the spaceship flies through space. Okay, and photon energy. If you can't explain that, then I don't want it. That's not fair. It's magic. It's science magic. You can't do that.
I bet you there is someone out there that knows the exact episode where it is referenced. So I would throw that challenge out there.
What about the food replicator? Would that be more?
Like how does that work? It makes matter.
Yeah, well, as I understand it, what it does is it takes proteins that are in, in one form. I don't know. It takes proteins and restructures them into different types of proteins.
Yeah, but how?
It's not creating something from nothing. It's changing one thing into another.
So your thing with Nen is it's taking.
Oh wait, look. Oh wait, no, wait a second. For the Hoover, it's taking your inner energy. It's creating a Hoover. There you go.
Okay.
Why does my inner energy look like a Hoover?
Hold on. Does she have a choice? Like, did she structure it as a Hoover?
Okay, then. So basically,
that's what I assumed it was.
Yeah. So the Nen abilities are based off your personalities. A bit like stands in a way. So they're based off the type of person you are. So the Hoover is like a blinky Hoover. It's meant to encapsulate her personality in some way. Kind of like Gon's ability just to fucking punch walls, because he's a very simple fucking person. And Clue's ability is about electricity, and because I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know the explanation of that one, but someone out there explained it.
Yeah, so like what you're saying is like, so you use Nen, and based off like your personality, you can kind of well for one, you can't choose what type of Nen you have, right? You're just in a category.
Yeah, so basically you're born in the category. What you can do with enough training, you can like go to categories with enough training, but most people stay in the same category that they were born in.
With that knowledge, you know the category, and you can use the Nen to structure the ability how you want to do it, right? Is that how that works?
Basically based on its abilities.
So if I wanted, so if somebody wanted a Hoover that eats people, they can make a Hoover that eats people.
Pretty much, yeah.
So,
but I don't. Okay then. But James, I don't understand how you can't. I don't understand how you can accept a food replicator and stands and not accept Nen. It's not fair.
Okay, no, I accept food replicator because like within the realms of Star Trek, it makes sense. Like, I'm surprised you're going after food replicator and not the transporter. The transporter is more of a warp than the food replicator.
No, Warp 9 goes faster than light.
I think 9 is faster than light.
I think the holodeck is like the worst stuff in Star Trek.
The holodeck.
Okay, at least in Star Trek, all right. There is at least some basis of reality in terms of the Mattery sequence are fine, the transporter fine, but at least it's like it's there from the beginning. They establish it. And there are parts of Star Trek where they're like, this doesn't work how we expect it to work. There is some grounding there.
Okay, it's much jargon though, isn't it?
The opposite. True, yeah, sure, but it's always been there from the start, so you just kind of accept it as part of the world. And the thing with stands is the fact that the characters, the so-called expert in stands, by the third stand he sees is like, I have no fucking clue what's going on anymore. Like, stands are just so insane that even within their own world, no one knows how they work. That's okay as well. Nen is in that middle ground where it tries to do the Star Trek, we'll explain it, but then also it never follows up with it. You never get that payoff. It's just kind of like, you don't see anyone really train up their Nen in a way that makes sense. It's just along comes someone who can pull their skin off.
All right. I found a contention to that. I find a rebuttal to that before we move on. So it's a two-parter. So first of all, there's a part where I say where Nen came out of nowhere. I feel like the whole part of the whole start of Yorknew, which is the next arc we'll get to, is that the fact that Nen is something that's hard to come across. It's like it's a secret that hunters themselves like keep it from people. So it's actually meant to be a part of the story. Isn't like come out of nowhere. You could say that it's a story point, the fact that Nen was such a secret. But I understand if you didn't like it. So I'd like a question. If they always had Nen from the beginning of the anime, always had Nen, and also they did explain it as well, it just happened, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, I think if it was more either slowly introduced over the course of, like, as I said, like if they took those 26 episodes to slowly introduce the concept, I would probably be more okay with it. But I think it's just more the fact that it's like, stop the show, sit down, here's my whiteboard, okay, carry on.
Okay, you know what?
Like, and then just suddenly Nen's everywhere. It's just like, what?
Okay, so I agree with the point that Nen was introduced in a shit way, but I still don't agree with the point with Nen is shit. But we'll talk about that as we go on.
I will also agree that it wasn't introduced good, because like that's kind of what the Heavens Arena arc is about. It's just basically a big introduction to Nen. Besides I guess even the Gon and Hisoka fight at the end's kind of introducing you to elements of how Nen works. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a good fight. So, what's your opinion on Hisoka, since this is like where he got a lot of his shine?
I like him. He's an interesting character.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I think he's one of these characters where, like, I don't think even he knows his motivation. It's just pretty much like, I just do whatever interests me at that time and I pay the consequences for it later. It just always seems to work in his favour.
Same. I also like him. I also like that he's not like just a one arc villain. Like, he's kind of like he's there like in a lot.
I'd argue he's not even a villain in that arc.
Yeah. I mean, I just like that he's just a constant character. He's basically he's the most important character that isn't the main four. I mean, in some instances, he's more important than Liario, actually. So,
King even.
Do you know what? I think one of one of Hunter x Hunter's strengths, the best thing of Hunter x Hunter is that there's not really villains and heroes. It's just like they have different motivations. So like the Phantom Troop and Yorknew, they have a motivation, and like you can't say that like Hisoka is a more villainous than them, because they're both pieces of shit. The villain Hisoka and the Phantom Troop, and I feel like the only arc that has like a villain that's like just like I'm evil. It's like Greed Island with the bomber. But I think apart from that, a lot of these characters aren't like just villains. They have motivations. They're complex. And that kind of like what makes Hunter x Hunter good.
I mean, that's also why Chimera Ant gets so much praise as it does, because like of the main antagonist. Not that Meruem's my favorite antagonist. I much prefer Chrollo Lucifer. But
Chrollo's good.
So yeah, we'll wrap up Heaven's Arena, I guess. We all think it's the weakest arc in the show. So, moving on.
I think Yorknew's worse.
Moving on.
Even I won't stoop that low. Even I won't stoop that low.
We have.
I know I'm the heel in this situation.
Yeah. Moving on, we have the fan favorite Yorknew City. I was gonna say insert cheer, but so
Even the fart fucking sound, isn't it? That's one of that.
I was gonna say every time you say you just replace it with the fart sound.
Do the one where it's the fart and there's the crowd like woo. Quick opinions on Yorknew City. Me first. It's one of my favourite shonen arcs of all time. Top 5 or top 3, definitely. It's my favourite arc in Hunter x Hunter. I think it's fantastic. I know Trakky feels a very similar way.
I feel like it's almost basically flawless arc. Like from all the complex characters, from all the different objectives of the characters, from the city the city feels alive. Like everything's going on. I feel like the arc is like one of the best.
And when I was first watching it, I'm not gonna lie, I think it was very. I guess maybe because I didn't jump on the whole maybe I didn't think about plot armor at the time, but I thought it was very tense. Like I didn't know who's gonna die in this arc and stuff, especially since Kurapika's crew in this were getting picked off one by one by the Phantom Troop. So I was kind of like, oh no, who's gonna die? So
I feel like this arc is. This is one of the arcs that makes you root for the villains. Like sometimes at some point you root for Phantom Troop to win, which is like really weird.
Yeah. I agree.
So your big opinions on the Yorknew City arc.
Kurapika.
Man,
that's 10 hours of my life I'm never getting back. No, that's not fair.
So
that's not fair.
If you had to, so we've been staying away from one character for a while. We have talked about we have talked about him, but let's give him the limelight he deserves.
Kurapika.
Let's talk about if you hadn't. Let's talk about the way Hunter x Hunter structures itself is that after Killua's house arc, whatever, the crew got split up.
It's called the Zoldyck Family arc.
Yeah, the Zoldyck Family arc. The crew got split up. We've been focusing exclusively on Gon and Killua, which will be what we follow basically for the next few arcs. And now is the big reunion. But there's one character who gets the focus, and that's Kurapika.
Mm-hmm.
And Kurapika is a character you praised earlier quite highly as a character you are fond of. But what me and Trakky seem to remember during your watch along of this show initially was that you kept making fun and insulting this character because of how much focus they got in this arc, as well as the Nen system rearing its ugly head again. So what do you want to talk about? So it's like the worst of the last arc for you mixed with the prominence of Kurapika in this arc. So What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I said that Kurapika kid, he's got too much ten and not enough Setsu, you know? But I think okay, so the big issue that I have with Hunter x Hunter is the Den system.
Yes.
And the one character who basically Kurapika's character kind of becomes Nen almost in a way. Just everything he does is Nen like related.
This is
he can't even like get a drink without him having to cool a glass with Nen or something. It's just all he does is just Nen, and it's I think he just kind of exacerbates why the Nen system's kind of broken a little bit, because we're going back to the types of like the categories of Nen you can be put into. Specialist is kind of like the one category of Nen that if you're in it, you're basically God. Like no one can touch a specialist, and Kurapika is a specialist, and it's just like because do we talk about this? Should we talk about the chains now?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, long story short, he has a training arc that happens off screen where he basically signs a Nen contract where he's basically given unlimited power but can only use it on certain people. But he's still like really strong even when he's not using it on those people.
he's trained in martial arts.
Okay, true. I've seen him pull a gun as well. So.
Yeah, that's guns are still effective in the Hunter x Hunter universe. Like,
yeah, I imagine they would be. Guns are good. Like,
yeah, but like you can deflect guns.
Yeah, it's not like Dragon Ball. Like Goku, like takes a bullet to the head in the first episode. It's like, what's that?
Okay, is that or?
Oh no, I just think like look at all the things he can do with his chains. He can like literally heal himself from death. He can kill someone like if they he does that thing where he wraps the chain around someone's heart and if they tell a lie their heart explodes. Like I'm struggling to see how he went from point A to point B, but this is all Kurapika does is walk with his chains out. Even though he can only use them for like 6 people.
Right, okay.
It's more like 12.
That's funny though.
Oh, I'm sorry. 12.
That's 6 feet. Well, I mean, but that's to do with the story you were praising earlier, the revenge story. Like,
yeah, I know, but just because it starts off good doesn't mean it's going to end well.
But here's the thing: look, like Kurapika doesn't want to fight people; he only wants to fight the Phantom Troop. So
then put the fucking chains away. You know
why?
Who are you impressing?
He's trying to kill them.
He doesn't want to impress anyone. He just wants to kill the Phantom Troop.
Yeah, I'm just going shopping. Better put my chains on.
Alright then, here's my rebuttal to that.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
So my rebuttal to that is I completely and utterly disagree with everything that Joneswell just said. I feel like the chains ability for Kurapika is really complex. It has a lot of abilities, but it's not invincible in any shape or form. So basically, it's not that he has unlimited power. It's the fact that he can only use a few of his. There's a few abilities that are very broken, but you can only use them on certain parts of the Spider Clan, which is like the Phantom Troop, because he set a contract with himself.
Plus, I'd also say, even though like he's overpowered and whatever, look, I wouldn't say the threat of the arc's gone, because he could only really fight them one-on-one. Like once you got to like. If they all jumped him, he'd be fucked.
He'd get fucked. So that's what makes the arc. That's what makes the arc really good. Is the fact it's more of a cat and mouse game where he's trying to catch the Phantom Troop, while the Phantom Troop's trying to figure out who he is. But he's also trying to get Gun and Clue out like safe from the Phantom Troop. And then you got Leorio comes in, who like he does a badass thing in it also in the arc as well, which is really cool. Like
okay. But if I might like suggest, why didn't they could have just shown Kurapika being like weak for a minute or two, just like, oh, I can't use my Nen powers here, so I'm useless.
He get killed. That's the thing. The difference between
but the thing is what every single time, because he fucks off every single time. He's like, I've done my job here. Bye. Disappears for an episode.
Okay, but
you never see him like
Okay, so
struggling at any point.
You're getting stressed. Let me play you my Nen flute
so
to calm you down.
I forgot about that.
Oh, so that was funny. Okay, so
okay. Here's the thing. Whilst there wasn't any physical weakness, you had to admit there was a lot of emotional weakness for Kurapika. He was showing a lot of emotional...
He went for a walk and had a cry. End.
No, there was the part where he got mad in the flute thing. We brought that up. There's the part where... Wasn't it, like, near the end where, like, he could have killed Crollo, but, like, he didn't because, like, you know, he just didn't want to go down that path. That was a good character moment.
Yeah, he abandoned him on top of a rock and stripped all his Nen powers.
A fate worse than death.
I feel like saying Kurapika's broken is not really like... It's not really true because he only fights one person at a time, and he doesn't there's a lot that goes on. He doesn't just like walk into the Phantom Room and go, let's fight. Like he knows clearly that he can't defeat them.
Bring up the
so he
fact
has
he
no
brought a
choice.
shovel though. Like he knew he was gonna win.
Yeah, what else do you expect? So if he's gonna die, then they go to the shovel there for him to die and get digged up. Like what else do you want to do? Would you fight? Would you start a fight? You're gonna lose. I don't get it.
But well, I guess he is in the mafia. He probably is thinking of these things.
Yeah, it's like they got shovels in their boot and stuff. Like, come on.
Did he drive? Can he drive?
Yeah, he can drive.
I don't know.
Does he use his Nen to chauffeur him around?
I feel like he can drive. I feel like he drove a car at one point in this arc. There's a lot of car driving in this arc.
You know, when you think about it, there's one fight in this arc, you know that, right? There's one actual fight. Like, there's one fight in the arc, and all the rest of the things that happen. There's one fight.
Well, and that's the thing, is like, as much as like Nen gets criticised and whatever, it's the actual fights in these first few arcs are very far and, you know, in between, so like they are definitely only pulled out for special occasions.
Yeah. I just think like there's so much more to the arc than just Kurapika doing cool things, because that's like one part of like a lot of things that happen. There's the whole conflict between the fantasy troop group where like they're trying to decide to like let their like leader die or go after them, and the whole thing where like where Paku, who's the character in the arc, she kills herself because like she wants to protect the leader. I feel like to say the arc is just Kurapika being cool and being a Mary Sue is the arc. That's one part of the arc. That's not like all of it.
There's so many like branching storylines, is what you're getting at. Did you not like the stuff with Gon and Killer in this arc? They were like they were so out of their league.
Yeah, that was cool as well. Like they were just like outmatched.
Yeah, I liked the bit with Gon and Killua. I really liked the bit with Gon, Killua, and Leorio where they're like trying to spy on that person.
Yeah, same.
That was a really cool part. I liked that bit.
Yeah, and you like the bargain hunt episode?
Yeah, I genuinely, that is my favourite episode.
Weirdly.
Just because but you learn something in there.
It's filler, it's not even real.
Life. Yeah.
It's filler, it's not even real.
It is real.
No, that guy comes back for a bit in the next Hunter exam that Killua partakes in.
Okay. The guy wasn't... Alright.
That was that. He's like, sorry.
That's
a spot on Killua impression.
Alright then. Okay then, you know what? Fair enough. We have different opinions of the arc, but that's not what I'm here. I'm here to tell you why I should continue. And this is the biggest reason why I should continue is because every single... No, let me... I'll go. You go first.
This isn't about Nen. This isn't about Nen, though.
Oh, what isn't?
Phantom Trope are boring.
Oh, okay. Why? Explain why you don't like them.
They're all the same character.
No, they're not the same character. That is absolutely not true.
They're all edgy.
No.
They all trying to be. I'm the coolest.
Okay, now you mean silly. Now you mean silly. That's not true.
I'm not. No, genuinely.
What about Uvo?
You aren't. They're different characters. You know what I mean? There's Uvo. They're the samurai dude that's dumb.
Hold on. You guys are having a fight to the death. We're just gonna play solitaire over here.
That's funny and quirky.
Don't get the point. Don't get the point. Okay.
Shut up. You hate quirky stuff.
Right, Gems roll.
But like you get when you see them like put out playing cards in the middle of a fight, I'm like, oh, that's charming.
Gems roll. James, you had the same issue with the Zoldyck arc. The thing is, these people, they're abnormal. They're not normal people. They're used to this type of like fighting and like violence. They're not normal. They'll be like, oh my god, they're fighting. They see this all every single day. Like, of course not. What do you want to do? Like, sit and watch? Like, Like, you know, that's a play game, a card game.
Something else. They could be like, okay, boss, you've got this. We're gonna go and do something else.
We're waiting for you to
This is
kill
being
them.
a dick.
Okay, the string girl and the one with the hood up to his mouth, I could understand why you'd like think that.
Oh, I hate that kid.
But not Uvo, surely. Uvo's a...
No, I like
he's
Uvo.
I don't think they're all the same character.
He's the only him and Lucifer are the only two interesting members of that fucking group.
No,
the rest of
What about
Snoresville.
Nobunaga, the samurai guy?
Nobunaga, yeah.
Oh, I did like him as well.
He was like,
yeah.
Uvo's dead. No, I'm angry. I'm going to arm wrestle you, Gon. I'm going to keep
What
arm
about Paku?
wrestling you.
What about Paku as well? Like, she sacrificed her life and you don't like her. Come on, man.
She had the
phone, yeah.
The gun girl.
Oh no!
She shot them in the head with her memories.
Yeah.
And
then
then
died.
killed her because Kurapika wrapped his finger around her heart. He was like, "Don't you dare tell on me!" And she went and
then
told.
she did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Your silence speaks volumes.
Alright, we're not getting to her. Here's the thing. Yeah, you should watch it because every single arc is different. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I say different, it's every single arc so far. No, it's like they're all different genres. So you got like the Yorknew arc. It's a different genre. It's more of a gritty city story. You got the Hunter Exam arc. It's more like a go-lucky adventure. And the Greed Island as well. It's like the most similar to the Hunter Exam arc. So that's why I think you should watch it. Continue because like it changes arc. There's more to it than just in then as well.
Out of curiosity, so I remember originally Joneswell dropped after Yorknew, and you knew you were dropping after Yorknew, like beforehand.
Yeah, I kind of set like a I'll finish the arc, but I don't see me continuing on with it.
Yeah, and then you did continue on with it for a bit. Like
yeah, so I got to episode 64 was the last one I watched.
Okay.
So what we had the introduction to
Greed Island.
Greed Island, which is the game. Once you're in the game, you can't leave, except when Killua does.
Whoa.
Spoilers. I read the description for the next episode, and it's like Killua leaves to take another Hunter exam. I was like, I thought he couldn't leave. You're introduced to. Is her name Biscuit?
Bisky.
Yeah, Biscuit.
Biscuit, yeah. Who, I mean, shall I just get the comparison out of the way now?
Yeah,
Dun, 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 dun.
She looks like Angelica from the Rugrats.
Yep.
Like spot on. I think at one point she even says, "You stupid babies."
So why is that about Bisky you don't like?
She's loud. She's annoying.
She's loud. She's proud.
And a little bit proud. And she, I don't know. I don't like characters that are dicks for no reason. She's just a dick for no reason. I'm gonna train you, but also like fuck both of you. I hate you.
She's going to make Gon and Killua the Nen Masters.
Okay. Do you have to be so rude about it though?
I mean, how do you think she got so strong, dude?
She's an old lady, man. She's cranky. Like, give her some slack.
But she looks like a child, haha.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I'll agree. I don't like that. I don't like when anime do that. I really hate that.
True, but you also haven't seen her true form.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not here to defend the Green Island. Like, if you don't like Green Island, like I feel like the last bit though. There's a part at the end, which is like the best part of Green Island. I feel like if you got to that part, you'd like it a lot. But I'm not gonna defend most of Green Island. It's not the best arc. I'm just gonna put it there. It's really it's like mediocre at best.
But it is followed by one of the best arcs.
Yeah, it's followed by one of the best arcs. That I think it's a fan favorite. I think actually, even though me and you think Yorknew's the best, I think the fans think that Coming Out arc is the best arc, and I can see that.
Chimera Ant's considered the best because it's. I think it just tackles more complex issues. It's a hell of a lot more darker than Yorknew too.
That's why I feel like you should continue Gemswell because it's very different to everything you've seen so far. It's not just an end. It's like there's no look Gemswell. Look, the best thing ever. There's no Kurapika. Kurapika's gone.
Finally, the show for me.
There's no chains. There's no chains. Like
So, will you continue Hunter x Hunter?
Probably not.
Come on, we'll get the Discord watch along going.
Yeah, we should do that. I'd do that.
Yeah, I'd do that too.
every I don't know, every like week or something, or every 3 days to watch an episode or something.
Yeah.
I don't. Sure, I guess.
And then we can do another podcast, and it'll be the conclusion of Hunter x Hunter.
Gemswell redeemed.
We'll make like a really clickbaity title. Was I wrong about Hunter x Hunter?
I mean, we need to like face.
We'll upload it on April Fools.
Yeah, we need a thumbnail. We need a thumbnail of your face like going
and it's you looking into like a mirror and Kurapika's.
What, I have become Kurapika.
Hunter redeemed. Watch the video. No. Upload on like April Fools. Upload it as like a 3-hour video, but like the rest of it's just like
blank. Sure.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask on like any concluding thoughts on this whole Hunter x Hunter thing. Are we gonna finally lay Hunter x Hunter to rest? Because we always talk about it. You always take shots at each other over men and stuff.
I think we stop that now. I feel like that was more of a year ago thing. And now we're more charitable to each other. But before we used to be like always got Kurapika and gun. That was funny though. Sometimes.
I mean, the other day you said, "Oh, this is Bisky, but you don't know who she is."
Yeah, no. Because like I just have to bring it back just once in a while, you know, every like month or so I bring it back.
Yeah, take shots at like Krillin.
It's 9 o'clock.
Oh, Dragon Ball. We gotta talk about Dragon Ball Z sometime.
We will do the Dragon Ball podcast and why tournament arcs aren't for Gems.
And why Krillin sucks.
Why Krillin's the best.
He sacrificed the world for something I can't say here.
Come on, man. It was a joke.
It's the entire planet.
If you saw Krillin after the fact and he explained it to you, you'd laugh.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, my closing statement is that Hunter x Hunter, one of the best anime of all time. I will say the comedic and arc. The only issue I'd say is its pacing at some points. Its pacing is really slow at some points.
Yeah, it's quite long.
And my only issue with Hunter x Hunter so far is the author is like taking the piss. But apart from that, Hunter x Hunter is a really good anime. Watch it. If you listen to this, watch it. Don't listen to Gemswell. Watch it. It's amazing.
And Gems.
No, listen to me. Listen to me.
Watch
the first 26 episodes, and then after that, you're on your own. You know. Look, I'll give you that. The first 26, the first 21 episodes of Hunter x Hunter are great. They're brilliant, amazing. Mwah. It's just, you know, after that.
Kurapika.
Kurapika.
So
listen, stop being such a Debbie Downer, Kurapika.
His family got killed. Like, what do you expect?
Get over it.
My mum is dead.
Jeez, you're acting as if you're the one that witnessed your family getting killed. We were the ones that killed them. So Jones, you're concluding final statements then.
Hunter x Hunter is a good television program ruined by too much excitement from the author to try and make it better than what it was.
Out of curiosity, do you have an issue with retcons in general?
No, there are some retcons that are okay, where it's like small things or like stuff where it's just so stupid. It's just like, okay, sure. I think it's just you have to do it in the right way.
Yeah.
Like, I feel the anime community is very forgiving of retcons in general. Like, it's just, they'll just explain it away in, just like, oh, it doesn't matter, because whatever. But I'm very, like, sensitive to retcons. If you're going to introduce something that wasn't there from the start, you need to do it right. And if you do it wrong, it's going to... if you have a bucket with a hole in it and you put some tape over it, the tape's not going to last forever, The water's going to seep through eventually.
Okay, fair.
Fair. Well, I mean, I'll definitely agree that the anime community is definitely more forgiving on stuff like that. But I guess it's just on how much it bothers you, I suppose.
Yeah, I personally feel like even though Nen was introduced incorrectly, that we all agreed on, I feel like yes, Nen is a component of Hunter x Hunter, but to say that it's all Hunter x Hunter is I don't think that's true. I feel like Hunter x Hunter is a lot more than just like the story itself and stuff. For me, is really good. But I can understand if you didn't like Nen, I can understand it ruining the story for you a bit. I personally feel like as things go on, as things goes by, you get used to Nen, so that's why you should continue.
But the story also kind of uses Nen as a roadblock as well. Like, remember the first time we were introduced to Nen, it's literally, you can't walk down this corridor because Nen, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's the point, though, isn't it? That's what I mean.
Yeah, but it's stupid.
The whole point of Nen is that it was a secret concept that's like only hunters know. But yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like it in video games when it says you can't get to this area until you're level 50, and that's just the same thing.
Yeah, but why would they let you into the area? Like, okay, come into the area and you're level 10, and you just get beat up. Like, what's the point of that?
Okay, fine. At least let me have a go. Don't
I don't want Conlcluding to die.
You're not allowed to kill people in Heaven's Arena.
What if it was a hallway and there was a guy at the end like, oh, don't come down, come.
Fine, okay, yeah, I'd be okay with it. Because then you just flick it away because it's the weakest attack in that fucking show.
It's killed many people, man.
Okay.
It killed Cell.
Yeah, it did kill Cell.
I thought the whole point was Cell's own hubris killed Cell.
That too, but also the Kamehameha.
Yeah.
It is. Also, everyone could learn it, even though it was the hardest move to learn.
I spent all my life training to learn this move anyway.
Okay, first of all, he spent all his life making the move. Okay, sure, you can make a laptop. And it took ages to make a laptop, but now we can make laptops in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, it took a long time to invent a laptop. That's what I mean. Inventing a laptop took a long time, but making it now is like easy. It's like that.
I guess that's a decent explanation, I suppose. But yeah, poor Master Roshi. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day when we talk about Dragon Ball. And tune in for our second Hunter x Hunter podcast.
Yep.
Where it'll be, are we calling it, Was I Wrong About Hunter x Hunter? There we go.
We didn't even talk about Tompa once.
Screw Tompa, man.
He's an asshole, but like, he's funny, so...
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Tompa returns and come out.
I remember when he gave... He's the main antagonist. He gives the main villain laxatives and a drink.
Marry him. Take these pills. They'll help you beat Netero.
He just shits everywhere. That's really funny.
Yeah, this is exactly what happens.
Also, remember, Killua was immune to laxatives.
Yeah, I was gonna say, thanks for the laxatives. I'll just shit these out later. No, wait.
And Gon can smell them.
We didn't even mention Gon was a dog once. Quick, go back and edit in right at the beginning. Gon's a dog.
No, don't edit it.
Gon is a dog.
Yep.
I mean, like, is there anything about Gon's sniffing ability that bothered you?
No.
It was funny.
No, I thought it was fine. Yeah.
I could smell laxatives.
You used to make little jokes about it though. I remember that.
Yeah.
You sniffed the wind.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Anyway.
I mean, it's kind of like how you like Krillin. You take the piss out of him.
Oh yeah, that's true. I like Krillin, but I like Krillin. Actually, no, I like Krillin in Dragon Ball a lot. I do actually feel like he digresses in Dragon Ball Z, but that's another discussion for another day.
Okay, fair enough. So
Who would be Krillin's analog in Hunter x Hunter?
Leorio.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Sure.
Since he's like, the weak one.
Yeah, he's like the one who's strong with the grip. He's strong enough to handle the grip, but he's still weak.
Yeah. There.
I guess also Krillin was a lot smarter than Goku as well, so there is that too.
Like in Dragon Ball, you had a lot of use, like to be like the person of reason. It's like, Goku, don't do that. It's stupid. But now in Dragon Ball Z, it doesn't do anything. It's just weak.
Okay, I'll talk to you about that during the Z session, but I will say this, would you want to watch Hunter x Hunter knowing Gon's dad gets punched by Leorio?
I have seen that scene, and I do want to see it in context, so maybe.
He also screams into his phone, and it's really funny.
Remember when he shaved all his hair off as well?
Poor Leorio. Anyway, I guess that's it for this episode of the Dreary Middle podcast. It definitely was one of my favourites, I'll say that.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Anyway, so we'll sign off. Thank you for watching. You can, we've got a Discord, we've got social media that you can follow us in, and we're available on all podcast listening things. We'll definitely have Trakky on again at some point. We've got a lot of stuff we want to talk to him about. Thank you for coming on, Trakky.
No problem. Farewell, people, and make sure you watch Hunter x Hunter. Don't listen to Gentle.
Okay.
I said watch it.
I did say watch it.
Watch all of it, not just 21 episodes.
Must be like
all of it.
The worst.
I did say watch it, just look at the asterisk.
All of it. Watch all of it. Farewell, people.
Okay.
Bye, babies.
Now let me play my Nen flute as an ending to the show.